prices have fallen and stock markets in Asia rallied after the US and Iran agreed a deal to end their war. President Trump says the announcement will see the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz from Friday. Well, Iranian state media also says the agreement will end the conflict in Lebanon. Hassan Pirzada is a geopolitical strategist and foreign policy analyst specialising in Middle Eastern affairs. Hassan, thanks for joining us tonight. What is your analysis of this apparent peace agreement?
I think so. It's a very good development which is happening between Iran and US. It is a very significant diplomatic breakthrough after a month of intense conflict and negotiation. But obviously, it is very complex and fragile with several key dimensions, which I see. One is the ceasefire and de-escalation. The agreement has obviously called for an immediate and permanent ceasefire on all fronts, including the critical fronts involving the Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon. This is a very major step towards halting direct military confrontation that have destabilized the region, and Iranians have put it through time and time again in their demands that they want to have a ceasefire on all fronts, which include Lebanon. So we have to see how US will be able to persuade Israel in order to, let them retreat from Lebanon and have their attack stop on Beirut and Daria, which they are doing. We also will have to see the Strait of Hormuz reopening. Obviously, at the moment, we have just got the reports from the Iranian media, which has been leaked. There is a kind of a framework which is getting developed, which will be implemented in 30 days. At the moment, they are naming it as a service fee instead of a toll, which will help, navigate environmental, and Iran will start doing that with the in the conjunction with the Omanians. So we'll see how that come out in next 30 days. This is obviously is a two-phase negotiation structure as well. The phase one is obviously focused on the ceasefire and the instant economic relief to Iran, including the unfreezing of Iranian asset. And the phase two is aimed to address the Iran nuclear capabilities, especially the enriched uranium, and how Iran will, deal with that, and how to dilute that within Iran, or Iran will agree for it to go away to any third country which they agree.
Yeah, and obviously in the last few weeks, it seems like there have been three major issues holding up such a deal. One, the future of the Strait of Hormuz. Two, the future of Iran's nuclear program. And three, what is happening in Lebanon. Let's take them each in turn. So on the Strait of Hormuz, by Donald Trump saying that it'll see the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, what does that mean in practice?
I think so, because it is a natural waterway, and obviously the world want it to go back as the pre-Strait war. But the world, and especially the US and the Israelis, have automatically given the Israel a leverage in the shape of Strait of Hormuz. This was never the part of any negotiation which was happening before in Oman, before this war started, or back in the days of when Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action was happening. So what Donald Trump wants us to it goes back to the time, pre-war time, and the flow of the ships and the maritime security and control is open, and it's not under Iranian. But Iran insists now to maintain a security control and a monitoring within its territorial water in coordination with Oman. So we'll have to see that how much impact it will be on the other nations apart from US, who's have the free trade movement in that area, specifically in the Strait of Hormuz choke point. We'll also have to see the reopening will ease the global oil supply disruptions that have driven the prices sharply higher, and it caused the cascading economic effects as well worldwide. So the operational environment will remain sensitive for the next few months with the elevated insurance premiums as well, and cautious shipping practices reflecting the ongoing risk. I also see the diplomatic and military balance as well. The reopening is a part of the ceasefire and de-escalation framework, but it does not fully resolve the underlying tension. The US and Iran will continue to negotiate the terms of the right enforcement and right mechanism, while Pakistan and Qatar will play a very key role in mediating these arrangements.
And then on the future of Iran's nuclear program, do we know at this stage what, if anything, this peace deal may say about that?
We don't have much information at the moment because what we are hearing from Iran, which the Mehr news agency has been reporting. But at this stage, what we know is that the peace deal framework included a phased approach to addressing the Iran nuclear program. But there is some challenges which might get unresolved. I'll tell you how. The phased negotiation window is set to a 60-day of technical negotiation period post this memorandum of understanding, during which Iran will reaffirm its obligation under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty and agree not to develop or acquire the nuclear weapons. The agreement will restrict the nuclear discussion strictly to Iran enrichment activities and economic reconstruction. It doesn't include Iran ballistic missile program, which is a key point for Israelis, and the regional proxy network which Iran is having. So we'll have to see how 60 days is enough for this kind of discussion to happening, because in the past we have seen when Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action was getting formed, Iranians and US took around 20 months to go through all the details back and forward to deal on what level of nuclear enrichment Iran will agree on, and how much the other parts of the nuclear program they will be able to give away in order to get all those economic benefits. So the peace deal initiate is structured, but we have a limited information at the moment what the structure will look like.
And then on the conflict in Lebanon, Iranian state media saying the agreement will end the conflict there, and yet we've also heard from Israel saying its forces will stay in Lebanon. So what actually will happen in your view?
This is a very interesting point which is happening at the moment. The situation in Lebanon remains highly complex and uncertain. Despite this peace deal or call of a memorandum of understanding which we are hearing, Iranian position, as I said before as well, it is that the ceasefire agreement includes a complete halt to all hostilities, including Lebanon as well. While Israel's position has made it clear in the last 24 hours that they want to maintain their military presence and operation in Lebanon, particularly targeting Hezbollah. We have heard from the right-wing ministers Ben Gvir and Smotrich just hours ago, in which they have pressed the prime minister to keep going and keep enforcing if Israel get attack times 10 to the Lebanon area. So we'll have to see that how much pressure Donald Trump will be able to put on Bibi Netanyahu for them to do an immediate ceasefire, because on the ground reality is that while there is some hostilities which have been paused, but Israeli strikes against the Hezbollah targets are still continuing. We also have to keep in mind about the domestic Israeli politics as well, because Netanyahu is facing an election in October, and the far-right coalition partners have a hardline stance against the Hezbollah and the Iran-backed proxies as well. So this political dynamic limits Netanyahu to fully comply with any ceasefire term which might be pushed by President Trump to Bibi Netanyahu. So it seems that the aim is to end the hostilities in Lebanon, but we are seeing Israel refusal to fully halt the operation means the conflict might continue in some form.
Hassan, really appreciate your time. Thank you. Hassan Pizzada there, geopolitical strategist and foreign policy analyst.
This is LBC News.